Tonight, let us journey through time to one of the most remarkable civilizations in history, the Ottoman Empire. This is not a story of kings and wars alone, but of cities and families, markets and music, palaces and prayers. It is a story that stretched across 6 centuries and 3 continents, yet, like every story, it began small, with a dream. Close your eyes and imagine the rolling hills of Anatolia in the late 1200s. The land is a crossroads. To the east, the remnants of the old Seljuk Turks. To the west, the crumbling Byzantine Empire. Here, small groups of warriors, called Ghazis, roam on horseback, living simply, fighting when needed, and protecting their people. Among them is a leader named Osman, son of Ertugrul. Osman is remembered not just as a fighter, but as a man of vision. Around him gather farmers, traders and families who believe his tribe can build something greater. They take his name, calling themselves the Ottomans. The story of Osman's dream is told like a legend. One night he dreams of a great tree growing from his chest, spreading its branches across the world, sheltering people of many lands. When he wakes, he takes it as a sign that his dynasty is destined to endure. And so, from a small frontier state, the Ottoman Empire is born. For over 100 years, the Ottomans grow. They take villages, towns and cities. They welcome craftsmen and scholars, building mosques and markets, yet always their eyes turn to one city, Constantinople. For more than 1,000 years, Constantinople has stood, guarded by colossal walls. It is the capital of the Byzantine Empire, sitting on the Bosphorus Strait, a bridge between Europe and Asia. Whoever holds it controls trade, armies and influence. In 1451, a young man becomes Sultan, Mehmed II, only 19 years old. But he is determined. He dreams of taking Constantinople where others had failed. Imagine the scene in 1453. The Ottomans build giant cannons so large they must be pulled by teams of oxen. Ships are rolled across land on greased logs to bypass chains across the harbor. Drums beat, voices chant, the ground shakes. For 53 days, the city resists. But on May 29th, the walls finally fall. Mehmed rides through the gates. He prays in the great church of Hagia Sophia, now a mosque. Constantinople becomes Istanbul, the new capital of the Ottomans. The empire now has a beating heart. Picture Istanbul in its golden age. Narrow streets twist between wooden houses. Markets overflow with carpets, spices and silk. The call to prayer drifts from tall minarets. In the Grand Bazaar, one of the oldest covered markets in the world, merchants shout their wares: shimmering cloth from Persia, perfume from Arabia, silver from the Balkans. The air smells of roasted coffee and honeyed pastries. Children run between stalls, laughing. Storytellers gather small crowds, reciting tales of heroes and wanderers. Life is not the same for everyone. Wealthy families live in large homes, decorated with tiles and cushions. Farmers in Anatolia work the land, bringing wheat and olives to market. In villages, people gather at bathhouses where steam rises and voices echo in tiled chambers. But whether rich or poor, life is woven together by tradition, faith and community. At the center of it all is the Sultan. He rules from the Topkapi Palace, a sprawling residence overlooking the Bosphorus. Walk with me through its gardens. Fountains sparkle in the sunlight. Roses and tulips bloom in every color. Courtyards open into halls covered in blue Iznik tiles. Inside live not just the Sultan, but his family, advisors, guards and servants. The harem, often misunderstood, is not only a private space but a world of learning, politics and influence where mothers, wives and daughters shaped the future of the empire. Some sultans were fierce warriors, others poets and dreamers. One of the most famous, Suleiman the Magnificent, ruled in the 1500s. Under him, the empire stretched further than ever, from Hungary in Europe, across the Middle East and into North Africa. He built mosques, schools and laws that gave order to a vast, diverse land. The Ottomans were known for their janissaries, elite soldiers trained from childhood. They marched in perfect lines, drums and flutes setting the pace. They carried muskets, bows, and curved swords called yataghans. But the empire was not just about soldiers, it was also about scholars, poets and builders. In Istanbul, the architect Sinan designed mosques so graceful that their domes seemed to float on air. Music filled the courts, flutes, lutes and drums weaving rhythms that still echo today. Close your eyes and let us sail with the Ottomans. Their ships crossed the Mediterranean, reaching the deserts of Egypt and the shores of Tunisia. Caravans traveled through Syria, carrying silk and spices. In the Balkans, stone bridges cross rushing rivers, linking markets and villages. For centuries, the empire is the meeting place of worlds, East and West, old and new. But no empire lasts forever. By the 1700s, the Ottomans face new challenges. Europe is changing. New machines, new armies, new ideas. The empire struggles to keep pace. Wars are lost. Territories break away. The empire that once stretched so wide begins to shrink. Some call it the sick man of Europe. In the 1800s, sultans tried to reform, building schools, factories and railways. But revolts rise, and foreign powers interfere. Finally, after the First World War, the Ottoman Empire breathes its last breath. In 1922, it is replaced by the modern Republic of Turkey, led by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. Though the empire ended, its memory lives on. Mosques still rise in Istanbul, their domes gleaming at sunset. The Grand Bazaar still buzzes with voices and color. Ottoman food, music and stories still warm hearts from the Balkans to the Middle East. The empire left behind not just buildings and borders, but a sense of connection between continents, cultures and centuries. And now, as night falls, imagine the Bosphorus waters shimmering under the moon. The domes and minarets of Istanbul glow softly in silver light. The sounds of the city fade into whispers. The story of the Ottoman Empire is not just a tale of power and decline. It is the story of people, farmers, merchants, poets, mothers, children, who lived, dreamed and built a world that shaped history. As you close your eyes and drift into sleep, carry with you the image of a city between worlds. A place where East meet West, and where the echoes of the past still whisper in the night air. Good night.